that he would go so
Yeah,
far.
we are live.
One-sided game, they would have won easily. Never say never, though. I agree. Are our favorite. Okay, do we have a total? No, they are still reviewing
because they're reviewing the wide as well as the potential run out thing.
It does seem.
Although he
he
did
has
only
moved
walk down the
across.
wicket, he didn't shuffle.
No, but his back.
It's not a wide.
It's not a wide.
Let's now look at it if it is a run out. But that also doesn't change the score. So pretty much safe to say the score is 175.
Yeah.
That's what Sunrisers Hyderabad have managed, batting first. And a total that we probably have got 100% right, I'm guessing, because Siddharth Gulati, so he's out. 175 for 9.
Ooh, wow.
Precise score. 175 for 9.
Well done.
No, proof, if ever that it's needed, that Siddharth can actually predict scores right in the early going. You know his legendary record, right?
No, he didn't get early going also any.
No,
right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Proof that it can happen. Because his legendary record of predicting scores in the first IPL we had here, 74 zip.
No,
it was not even
zip
one.
74.
Yeah, not even one, right?
Yeah. But man, just in your second stint, you
Just
got it.
trying to not learn from him.
I know. You have to unlearn a lot of things.
Yeah, I know that.
So,
But yeah, overall, I think it's you look at SRH's innings. It's pretty much a case of what ifs, because they lost Abhishek early, then got a partnership going, then lost a couple of wickets early, then got a partnership going. So I think it's been the case of Henrik Classen once again. I think saving them, and had it not been for his 50, it would probably have been 150.
Yep, 34 of 28 from Travis Head, or rather subdued Travis Head if you may have to look at it. 37 of 15, again Rahul Tripathi looked good, but then threw his wicket away.
Yeah, that's, and see, last game you can still say, okay, he really wasn't at fault. I think unfortunately Samad sold him down a river there.
And a good fielding by Russell.
Yeah, but this one was entirely on him. Okay, fine, I have no problem with aggressive intent. But the execution on that shot was just off. At that
Same
point
with
in time.
Abhishek. I mean, he started off well, but then this is what the fine edge is. You want to maintain that aggression, keep on playing that way, or you will find that kind of a delivery and then you play a rather bad shot. So, Classen only dealt in sixes, 4 sixes in his 50.
He didn't get a boundary.
He didn't get a boundary.
And Nitish Reddy, I think he was one of the victims of the pressure that was building up. He had to go for his shots and fell while playing the reverse sweep.
He did. But sensational bowling from Trent Bolt and Avesh Khan. Fantastic display taken from the death. And that's why 175 for 9. Is it an under par total?
I'll also give a shout out to Sandeep Sharma. I mean, look at those figures, man. 6.2, 2 wickets, 25 runs, phenomenal. I mean, this guy is probably one of the most underrated IPL players out there, Sandeep Sharma. And it's very funny that RR had him as a replacement player. Remember, he wasn't originally bought by them. He was picked up on a replacement.
For Prasidh Krishna.
Yes, and been phenomenal ever since.
Yeah. Oh, so 175, I think about 20 runs under par. Easily.
Would you have said that at the start of the innings? Because the common consensus was that this is not going to be a rather good pitch to bat on, as in it was going to be a bit of a tricky pitch, which may have been a bit dry, may have assisted the spinners. So if that indeed was the case, then 175 would have been a decent total. Also considering the jitters that Rajasthan Royals showed last time around, chasing a much smaller total on a much better pitch, they were jittery.
Yeah.
So, if I had said at the start of firstly, has the pitch played out the way it was perceived to have been playing?
Not to the extent that we expected it. We thought it would be a spin-friendly track. I'd say it's more on the sluggish side, especially if you take pace off the ball. I mean, even we were seeing stats that pacers who were bowling the cutters, that they were conceding an economy of around 4. But you were keeping pace on the ball and that doubles. So, definitely one of those pitches where you're going to be having to turn to cutters if you're a pace bowler. Again, but if you look at how the spinners went about things, I mean, sure, Chahal 8.5 but no wickets. Ashwin also 4 for 43, nearly an economy of 11, no wickets. So, spinners did really none of the damage in this case.
So,
but it's a sluggish pitch.
Are you saying it's a sluggish pitch?
It's sluggish, but it's sluggish in the sense, but I think if you get set there's runs to be made. I mean, if you look at who all got big runs, Classen also batted a while. He caught up much later when he started hitting a few sixes, but there were times he nearly played out a maiden from UZ Chahal. So there is definitely...
Is that indicative of the fact that it's not a... Is Henrik Classen, apart from where the match was at that situation, is a batter who mostly is aggressive, who attack. The fact that he was not today, was it down to because the wickets had fallen, or was it primarily because it's not a great stroke making pitch?
Both. It's definitely not the best stroke making pitch. Having said that, it's not like this is one of those unplayable kind of pitches. You stay in long enough, there's runs there. But yeah, I think he was also slowing down because he knew that they'd lost 3 wickets in the power play again.
Yes.
And that's been a concern with SRH. Their approach is so knife edge that when it works, you're 125 for no loss. When it doesn't, now 2 knockout games, you've seen their openers fall, and it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the middle order.
Plus, why I had said it's 15-20 run shot even before the start, whatever score it is, somehow their bowling doesn't inspire me confidence. Yeah. It is credit that the batters have primarily led, barring a T. Natarajan, another local boy by the way. T. Natarajan has been the lone standout bowler along with the Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, but Bhuvaneshwar has been patchy. Now, you don't have a Markanday today because Shahbaz is your impact sub.
Yes.
You've got 2 left-arm spinners in Abhishek and Shahbaz.
And Markram if you really want to.
Markram for your off-spin, leg spin, whatever you want to look at it. So, they needed 195.
But if slow bowlers are doing the trick, or at least not slower bowlers, but slow balls are doing the trick, we looked at that data that, slower balls, very tough to hit boundaries of, economy is very low. Quicker balls, you're getting a lot of runs. If that's the case, then you've forgotten Jaydev Unadkat.
And Pat Cummins, who can give that cutters a big edge. But yeah, again, Jaydev, how much has he been consistent in IPL 2024?
I think he has done fairly well under Pat Cummins primarily because they have a bowling captain and he has had constant chats with him also. So I think going by his recent shows or maybe in the previous editions of the IPL, I think he has been pretty okay.
He's been relatively better, but again, would I be betting my house on Jaydev Unadkat putting in a match-winning performance here? Probably not.
See, you've got 2 key bowlers. One is a Bhuvaneshwar Kumar and a T. Natarajan. They are your 2 best
But you're forgetting
SRH bowlers.
Pat Cummins here. See, he's a straight smart captain and he would be smart enough to use those off cutters or maybe those slower bouncers.
I mean, look at how the 23 World Cup final on November 19th, he had only cutters, off cutters on a similar kind of a wicket, if I may say. It was sluggish. So that's why, look, full and straight at the stumps, that can essentially, you don't need to take pace of the ball, you need to bowl at express pace. That express space only Cummins has it to a certain extent and Natarajan has it.
Yeah, his Yorkers at least.
Yeah, he's only, I think SRH guy has taken a 5-wicket haul in this IPL for them. So, these are the 2 key bowlers. Apart from that, where is the support? That's the problem.
I mean, middle overs, normally they fail to apply the squeeze. That's also one worry because if you do get wickets up front, are you going to have the bowlers to apply that squeeze? I don't see that happening now.
Well, I mean, the Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers may not be the best in the business, at least not this season of the IPL. But as I said, one thing to consider is the way the Rajasthan Royals batters batted in the previous match. So, if they're going to still be nervous, if that scoreboard pressure is going to get to them, though I did hear Sanju Samsung at the toss saying that is something that they've addressed. That is something that they spoke about after the last game where, they were cruising and played some rather adventurous strokes, which resulted in, nervous situation. There were a few moments that you would have been nervous. Since that they've spoken about it, that's a good thing, but to execute it is another thing. Having said that, I would also give credit to Rajasthan Royals team management. I think one thing that has done rather well for them, not just their bowling, but the plans that they came with. It was clear from how they got their wickets that a lot of those dismissals were planned, especially with the short third, the way that short third was played. I think 3 or 4 dismissals have come via that route, where they bowled a slower ball, which is a slower bouncer, which has then led to them trying to tickle it down to third man for a 4, and the short third has come into play and taken those catches. And clearly it did not happen by chance. They did see that the go-to shot in a ball like that was that. kept the fielder there. Good catching also though. Some of those catches can be tricky. Good catching by Yuzi Chahal. Ashwin I think took a catch there too. So good catching that, but good game plan. And even Avesh's wicket of Nitish Reddy, it did seem like he had a perfect plan to, first ball to attack his stump. Or maybe he had that in mind that Dinesh Karthik, got the bat and saved him this time. I won't get the bat, not the pad.
Direct stumps.
Go for that stump. The first ball again, similar for
Abdul
Samad. First ball gets him bowled. Could have been exactly that for Dinesh Karthik. Just that time it did not pay off.
Yeah.
The umpire was kind enough. This time it has. So, credit to the backroom staff of Rajasthan. I think they worked on each of Sunrisers Hyderabad's batters, and that's paid dividends.
It has paid dividends. But now, looking at the situation, it again sums up, if either of Head or Abhishek don't do well, then Sunrisers do underwhelm. That's the trend.
Well, again, as I said, that imagine, Abhishek gets out, Head was still there. Well, the way Rahul Tripathi was going, I think 5 overs, there was 60 something.
Yeah, 60. Yes.
With one down, it's not too much of an issue. You from there were looking at 200 plus.
Yeah.
Was Tripathi overly aggressive, or the other way of looking at it is like, fine, that's the way they need to play because they have a deep batting lineup. If you play like that, you go 200 plus, because if you change your game, then the whole same talk that you have with the Indian team, fear of failure, underperforming pressure situations, clutch games, maybe with Cummins the captain, at least that's the talk that they've had. Doesn't matter what the situation. If you're an attacking batter like you are in Tripathi, keep attacking. If not you, Makram will get runs. If not Makram, Head will get runs. If not Head, Nitish Reddy, Abdul Samad, and so on and so forth. Maybe they believed in that philosophy. Today it just didn't work for them. And the only time they actually went back to plan B of being a bit careful, I think, is the situation where, they were 160 odd or 120 for 6.
Yeah, when Samad went. Yeah.
120 for 6.
Yes.
I think that's where they said, okay, now we're in a precarious position, 4 wickets in hand. Let's go to plan B. And that's why I think Classen played the way it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had they not lost those wickets in the middle, could have still gotten 200.
Yep.
True
Indeed.
I think I completely agree with you here, because they have stuck to their own template, which is to just go after the bowling no matter how many dismissals have happened.
Yeah.
And I think but this is where I think Siddharth's point also comes in, and that's what I think even I also pinpointed even in the earlier discussion that we have. If they don't get a good start, that the chances of SRH crossing 200 are very minimal.
Very minimal.
And that's what has probably
And
happened.
today the Rajasthan Royals batting is all the way until number 9, if I may add. Because you'll get a Hetmeyer in, one of the bowlers will be subbed out.
Yeah.
So they are got very deep batting.
So you have Ashwin at 8 basically.
Yeah, even I am saying a Bolt also. In
Bolt
this case,
also.
push comes to shove, then you may have to say that, okay, Bolt wields the willow, gets some 6s or 4s.
No, because Sanju Samson previous game where entire talk was around them almost, committing harakiri and losing a game from a winning position. I heard Sanju Samson after the game, he said, no, I was not worried at all. We had Ravichandran Ashwin.
And he didn't need to be.
And he was quite serious about it. He said in a situation like that, I was pretty sure that forget everyone else, Ashwin will take us all. It wasn't a situation where you had to bat at a very high score.
And they didn't need to, because they didn't have that many runs also. So you lost a couple of wickets, it will be fine. That was the thing. In this situation, see, with SRH, unfortunately, I think they just needed one more batter to tick. And they had the same problem against KKR. There, they probably needed 2 batters to stick around and maybe get some runs. Unfortunate for them that I think their form or their approach has kind of been found out at the worst time. Yes. Because they've done very well throughout the group stages, having this approach, and then after that, I think it's just kind of fallen apart. Because I think teams also realize that, listen, their bedrock of their 200 pluses are always built on quick starts. They don't need Abhishek and Travis to be getting 80-70 runs every time. But 40 of 15, 50 of 25, those were very good. And after that, they just had a very deep batting lineup even once the openers went. The problem has been, have they been able to fall back on plan B? Not necessarily always. I've seen it even with KKR, the openers have been very key. But on days when the openers fell, you knew you had a Venkatesh Iyer and a Shreyas Iyer who could rebuild the innings. Those were on bad days.
They would have hoped that Makram does. Or
that's the thing.
Yeah.
Makram, Reddy. See, Classen, to be fair, I can't fault. He did a good job. all things considered. Rahul Tripathi, again going for an aggressive shot, ended up kind of getting out. But I also understand why he was being aggressive. It was the power play.
Yeah.
It was the 5th over. He knew he had to extract as many runs as possible at that point. Where things really slowed down for them was the middle overs.
Yeah. For Rajasthan also, Yashasvi Jaiswal needs to step up.
Yeah,
He's going to be key, big game, and they need a good start. Again, it is, as we have, I think, all agreed on, that below par total, but a good start is needed. Because if your openers don't do well, 2 back in the hut for not much, the dressing room is panicking, no matter how long your batting lineup is. Let's take a few quick questions, Shivam, before the inning begins. Dhera says Cummins losing IPL and then being humiliated in T20 World Cup, then the world will heal. Humanity will be safe from these overconfident. I mean, Cummins is the last person who will say is overconfident.
Yeah, I mean, he's a quietly confident chap, but with good reason.
Yeah, and his comment in the World Cup misconstrued. He didn't actually challenge the crowd that he'll be quiet. He was asked that how will you, deal with so many people in the thing, the boisterous crowd, and he said we'll try and keep them quiet
And he was right.
by doing well. He didn't try to say that I'm throwing a challenge and we'll keep. It wasn't like that the way. Sometimes it's lost in translation. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
On context in this case.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
ABD Best says, why did the bowler Avesh Khan take overthrow risk on the last ball? I think it's pretty much the case of a player believing in himself that yes, I can execute a run out, and that's what I think Avesh did, and luckily it connected.
And to be fair, he was that close. I'm sorry, from there he couldn't connect, then forget about it.
True. It has happened though once.
No, of course it has happened, I know.
I mean, Kane Richardson will testify to that. I mean, he was this close, say where you are sitting in the bat. He was that close, just an underarm throw. No, he missed it. Tom Moody said, I'm not having you in my bowling team. So, Aman, Sylvie, have you checked other players' stats in IPL playoff before calling VK the most underwhelming in history of playoff? FII, Rohit Sharma, 21 innings, average 15, strike rate of
That I agree.
108.
When he made that most underwhelming record in the history of IPL, I was like,
Blanket.
It's like
It's not a blanket. See, we know Rohit Sharma has underwhelmed in all
I'm not
IPL.
even comparing Rohit with that. I'm generally saying there could be so many more.
I mean, for his high standards that Virat has said, it is underwhelming.
So then if you go by context, based on his high standard, he hasn't had a great eye. The most underwhelming record in the history of
And anyway, Rohit, we all know the broader context is IPL. He's underwhelmed, be it league or league stages, playoff stages. Same with any other player, even in MS Dhoni. He doesn't bat that high up in the position also. So,
okay, a quick question for all of you. So, knowing that it's a big game, would you have preferred for RR to open with a certain Sanju Samson?
No.
Don't change that.
No. That'll set off the panic button.
Exactly, it shows that you're panicking.
Yeah, leave it.
Let it just be.
And you see, if they had reached 250 total, you want to change things around, then I would still say, okay, fine, that you want to, start aggressive. This is a safer total.
Yes.
I mean, chaseable total. Back your strengths, go with what you've been doing.
Yep.
And just come good.
Mayank Madan says every team that has knocked out RCB in the playoffs has gone on to lose the IPL finals every time. So if they go out, they pass on their bad luck.
Correct, it's true. Because except, see, SRH when they beat them, they lost to DC in the qualifier too. So that got eliminated. KKR, they beat RCB in eliminator.
2021.
Yeah, and they lost in the final.
Wonder.
So that is why.
Okay, I'm just going to read a few quick comments. GGK says SRH under par as expected. SRH going all out, backfires against. RR win as predicted. Sarat Chandra is saying if we play aggressively and lose wickets, we reach 170. If we play conservatively, we reach 170. So what changes? And we should always see conditions game and 2. Priyanshu says in IPL playoffs, Gambhir averages 14.5, Rohit 18.5, DK 17, Dhawan 18, Raidu 18.6. Oh man, he's done a lot of research. Virat is at 26. So there are so many others he's pointed out because you said the most underwhelming record in IPL history. Good research, Priyanshu. Thank you for pointing that out.
But by the way, how many playoffs has Gambhir played in?
Fair few, yeah. Fair few.
11,
12, 14.
14.
After that, he reached one more time when he was KKR captain
enough.
also.
3, 4,
17. So 5 playoffs. 5 times.
out of 13.
And if you want to count the semi-finals from
Enough.
2008 and 9, that also counts.
Correct.
They
Delhi
also count.
Capitals,
Enough.
Yeah.
Delhi Daredevils.
Daredevils.
Yeah, 26.2. Wow, that is such a staggering record.
You want to change your statement now?
No?
He should actually change his statement because it's factually incorrect at this
Okay,
point.
Asad is saying SRH is winning, slower ball gripping into surface, slower ball into the deck is the way to go. We discussed about that. Cummins and co will do the same thing. Classen played sensibly. What a shot, 6 over
Oh,
That was a good
yes.
6.
Yeah.
Fantastic shot, yep.
Varun Parvathan says SRH template showed today how risky it is for the Indian team to follow this template.
Pays.
What is it?
Pesa dividends.
Pesa dividends,
think he means
but
pays
not
dividends.
necessarily in the playoffs.
Wow,
Pays
what a,
dividends, but not
yeah, what a shot from
Yeah, but I
Yashish.
mean, I'm sorry if you've not won anything playing conservatively.
Yeah.
You need to be more aggressive. That's part of
It will only whitewash the hurt a little bit. I played aggressively, we tried.
No, that's better.
Ah.
At least that way you're not playing within your shells.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'd rather lose playing all out or giving your best than being like, I'll do this much and it may be enough. That works.
Could be.
Okay.
See you for the match end. KKR versus RR.
Loading.
Yes.
Ooh.
It's 4-zip anyway in the house.
I don't think anyone's changing the prediction.
Nah,
Anyone
no,
changing?
no,
Now me.
not me. No.
Nobody.
See you for the match end. Bye bye.